Perfect. Hello, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending on the time zone. Happy Easter. I'm going to take this opportunity to wish everybody all the best. I'm Alex, and I'm going to be the host for tonight's AMA here at Phoenix. And we have Croki team here with us, represented by Nick. Nick, you have the floor. Please give us an introduction of yourself.
Hey, so I'm gonna be the head of Croki. Um, I've been in this crypto space for about like 2 to 3 years, and then obviously the meme coin and that space for about like a year now. And Carrie isn't here, but she's been she's kind of more of the co-team. She helps a lot with marketing, more of the background help work because it's hard for me to do it all myself, but she covers a lot of contacting, marketing, setting up partnerships, whatnot. And then we do have another team member that's obviously busy today for Easter, but he does a lot of the background development. So he could help more of obviously building sites, graphics, UI, all that good stuff. And then pretty much all three of us are fully doxed, whatnot. So that's obviously a benefit to the entire community.
Okay, that makes it simple. We have three people here. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick. So you said it's you, Carrie, and the third team
Yeah,
member.
JR. He's just, I think he's busy today.
Yeah,
But
it all
pretty
makes
much,
sense.
yeah, three of us.
Yeah, as we said, it's still Easter. So I mean, of course,
Yeah.
it's Easter in for example, for me, I'm not a Catholic, so for me, Easter is next week. That's why I'm here. If you were wondering, yeah. But still, yeah, we're divided. Most of the people are celebrating it now. So again, happy Easter
Yeah.
to everybody. Um, Now,
Peace.
because we actually touched an interesting point here. You said that sometimes it's exhausting for you and Kerry to actually for you to do the entire thing, and then Kerry helps, and then JR as well. But you're still three people handling, the community, the website, the development, the marketing, and so on and so forth. So how does that play? Isn't that exhausting? And it's you know
Oh, it definitely is. But we do have obviously some smaller chats with mods. And then we do have obviously community members who kind of keep the chats engaged when me and Carrie are asleep. Personally, I'd say I'm in chat from when I wake up to when I'm sleeping for almost majority of the day, unless obviously something is going down that I can't be in chat. But usually the community has stayed pretty engaged. We have a lot of help from just community members, etc. If we're busy in an AMA or we're just trying to work out more background work, we'll make sure chat is still active with members, etc., trying to do giveaways, whatnot. But obviously, Carrie kind of helps with the contacting a lot of marketing people because there's so much that I could keep up with on that marketing and contact wise in the DMs. So we'll kind of just split up the work. She kind of helps with finding the internationals. I'll more work on the people who I've already worked with in the past that will hit me replies fairly quickly. And then, for example, like she has good connections with Omar, which we partnered with. So that will hopefully be nice in the long term with BlueFi. We'll hopefully get some NFTs listed on there.
Yeah, BlueFi, BlueFi is a different type of partner. I mean, you don't often hear partnerships announced by them or by other tokens. So congrats on that one. It's from my perspective, and I think everybody that's actually been in the crypto space for at least about a year, they should know what BlueFi can do and what they've done so far. So yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
a major step. Yeah, they're not your usual partner that you can get. So definitely you
Yeah.
guys are special.
And something cool that like we're trying to go is like, yeah, of course they're the VSC side, but like we're trying to get more people learning about obviously the Crow chain. That's kind of the goal here.
Definitely, definitely. But I think in their case, I mean, and this is why you kind of probably that was your judgment initially as well too. This is why you need a big partner, because even though they bring experience on another chain, so you guys are on Chronos, and then BlueFi is of course a major competitor in the BSC space. That's actually relevant. I mean, when you get the top-notch quality, they can bring it to whatever chain, in my opinion. So
Oh,
yeah, I think
definitely.
it's a major change for sure. So yeah, so that the community actually understands what we're talking about. Give us an introduction about Croki. What are we talking about here? What does the project stand for?
All right, so we're kind of based on Loki of Chrono, so it's gonna be a lot of community based, and then obviously the utilities and kind of that use cases to come, which we have already displayed a good amount, but we want to expand into rather the major utilities like our pad and our swap that we're hoping to build. So those are going to be two longer term goals. And then currently we have obviously NFTs, we have some staking, we have MMF pools live for anyone who wants to stake on there. So pretty much we're going to be a community meme token, but the utilities is kind of what we want to have for the long term, obviously, because just a meme token could only go so far. But personally, I'm a big NFT fan, so I kind of want to focus on that side a lot. We have a 3D collection in the works. It just takes a little while. That great artwork can't be rushed, sadly.
Well, I mean, not sadly, if you ask me, because if you take your time and not rush things, you kind of achieve your end goal, and then of
Oh
course
yeah,
it's always gonna leave some improvement space. You can constantly go and adapt and improve, and either way you find it more suitable towards the demand, because basically that's what you're building. You're building something to supply the existing demand. So yeah, definitely taking your time. I think it's pretty much self-explanatory. Although we are used to, uh, and this is where your leverage comes in, because and I'm sure you already know that, Nick, on the BSC space, where we're used to doing things quickly these days. You launch, you buy, you sell, you're done with it. You move to the next one. So yeah, that's again, it's not ideal. It is what it is. We live with it, and we as investors, because we were talking about adoption, we adapt and we adopt other stuff such as Chronos, because it has a lot of volume these days. So yeah, definitely, the best way to proceed with the token, given the fact I'm again impressed with the BlueFi partnership. Um, Given the impact that such a partnership could bring to the table long term. This is what you do as a token. You don't rush things. You bring them steadily, and you keep on improving. And I think you guys
yeah,
already did that. So yeah, no no second thought about that one.
yeah.
Since
That's
we're talking about yeah, sorry, don't let me interrupt
no.
you.
You can go. I would say I'll answer your question. Mine wasn't too important.
Everything is important. My question was actually because I wanted to kind of make this as a fluid conversation. As you can see, I have pretty much 90% of my comments are long. So,
Yeah.
what stage are you guys in right now? Looking at your roadmap, what happened so far? Of course, just the brief updates, not everything. And what
Yeah.
should we or what could we expect? In a, let's say, short period of time, 2 weeks to a month. You know,
Yeah. So quickly for what has came, we've gotten obviously here. Let me pull up just our quick roadmap. Makes it way faster because I can just run down all the bullet points that have approved. So we got token staking live. Our PvP game is live. I'm just the game developers. He's taken a while to get the link on the main website because I got to go through two people, and we know how that works on Easter weekend. No one wants to reply. But we have our token staking live, our game has been live, and then our first NFT collection is live. Hopefully, I'd say in about a week or two, NFT staking should be live. Custom merch design should be fairly soon. One of our guys are working on that. We've applied CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap, and then I'd say hopefully in the coming month to 2 months around that, we could have our launch pad and then our Croki swap. So where we could kind of it's a cross. We're wanting to work on a cross chain swap, so people could easily just swap BNB to Crow and vice versa. And then one thing I was wanting to kind of like brainstorm is kind of do like a MMF pool, like a fork. So like for example, how we have farms on theirs, we could work with other tokens to run farms on ours. That kind of deal. I think that would be something that'd be pretty cool in the long term. And I don't think it's too far out of reach because clearly looking at Mad Meerkat, it's just pretty much a fork of Pancake Swap with just different pools clearly.
Wow, that's actually a quite interesting idea, and I mean, of course, you would be the first to do so. I don't think there's another token on Chronos to actually host other pools, if I may.
Yeah, like we're
Um,
not here to like overtake Mad Meerkat because obviously I know they're very large and their ecosystem's large, but obviously it just gives more of like that meme swap. Because for example, Shiba has a swap, plenty of other meme coins have swaps that people still use and that other meme coins could launch off of, etc., whatnot.
yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I get you guys. You're not here to, how should I say, to establish a monopoly.
Yeah,
You want to coexist, and I mean, at some point, um, I'm just gonna take the BSC because we were talking about MM being a fork of Pancake. Sure, but think about it. Whichever was first, probably Pancake. Um, I mean, there were others before, but the first major one was Pancake. There were other exchanges afterwards, and I'm sure they thought pretty much the same as you did. Let's try it and see how it goes. Some of them are alive right now. Uh, of course, on the BSC, you kind of have three of them that are mainly used. You got
yeah,
Pancake, you got Bogged, and then probably Poolcoin. I'll say they have a,
yeah,
and they were actually, I think they're the best example to be used here because they actually implemented their exchange feature quite late compared to the others. So
yeah.
if
They
I
did.
mean they did, and think about it, this Nick, they already had huge competition. I mean, you got Pancake, you got Bogged, probably others as well. So they had. I don't know how often people would use Poolcoin, but on your case, doing this, the sooner the better, I would say. But still, you are a pioneer, so others would need to and will consider you as the competition because you guys were the first on the block. You're the tough kid.
Definitely. And one thing obviously about like MMF pools and stuff are it's pretty it's pretty difficult to get on there. Like you kind of got to do a lot of work to get it done. So kind of with running our pools on our own platform, it would kind of give the smaller tokens that are obviously we would take legit measures, KYC, etc. But the MMF pools are obviously not cheap, so it kind of cuts off the cheaper tokens from even having a chance at getting those opportunities.
Fair point. Fair point. Yes, indeed. I mean, and again, I'll say if it has to be done, the sooner the better. I think this is gonna bring a huge impact um to the Chronos chain. Personally, just having another opportunity, reliable and feasible opportunity and solution, because I'm a BSC trader and I want to invest in Croki. Just given, I mean, maybe it's a bit more fluid right now, but how it was a week or 2 weeks ago, the process of me getting my BNB switched over, Jesus, I mean, I think it took like 12 hours. Of course, I started when, the hype was there. Everybody was doing it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say kind of the hopefully the goal. I mean, I don't know, I don't know where you're located, but Crow personally, where in the states is very like it's marketed fairly hard. There's signs everywhere. They have sponsorships with stadiums and stuff. So personally, I think in just the long term goal of things, I think Crow and Crow Network itself are going to be up to par with maybe like half of the market cap of BNB, if not even being a close competitor in the near future. I see no problem with that whatsoever.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Trust me. I mean, in terms of marketing, they started like no other chain did. So
Yeah,
everybody
it's
knows, of
absurd.
course, was it Staples Arena, who right now
Yeah,
it's no
that's
longer
what it is.
Staples.
Staples. Yeah, not Staples anymore.
So there you go. I mean, even I've never been to the States. I'm in Romania right now, so
Yeah,
kind
but even
of
even if you
kind of
haven't been
far
to the
away.
States, you even know about it. That's the crazy thing. I know they're sponsoring the World Cup, I believe, too, as well.
Yep, yep. They're gonna be a sponsor listed for the World Cup as well.
And then one thing that's cool as well that I don't know if any other exchanges do, but they obviously have their debit card where you get cash back in crypto, which is that's pretty cool in my opinion.
Uh, no idea if they do. Overall, I think you guys chose the. I mean, at the moment, sure, it has its ups and downs, but you guys are not actually relying on what's happening today, tomorrow, and within 2 weeks. You're in for
Yeah,
the long term.
definitely.
So
That's what
yeah,
kind of want people to understand is it's a brand new chain. Obviously, we seen how fast the hype came, so it's obviously gonna have to cool off a tad, especially when the market is down as well. But we're not here, obviously, like you said, for the quick price action. We're gonna be here for a while. So
yeah, they need the space needs to actually the market needs to stop fluctuating like this, and after that all the pieces are just gonna pretty much complete the puzzle, if not most of it.
yeah,
um Definitely you guys have what it take, and something that actually you guys what can I don't want to read from your website. Tell us a bit about the tokenomics, because this is the first time that I'm seeing this type of appliance, let's say.
yeah. So our tokenomics for our token are it's gonna be 6% marketing and then 2% liquidity. It was prior 4% liquidity, 4% marketing, but community obviously said they think that liquidity is built fairly strong enough. So I decided just to go with what they all wanted because obviously I'm going to do that. But currently, right now, it's 6% marketing, 2% liquidity. And then for our NFTs, they have some fairly cool tokenomics that are obviously, I think, the first on the Crow chain. It's 25% of the minting costs are distributed back to all holders. So it's pretty much like how reward tokens are. For example, if 25% of taxes were sent to all holders, it's no different than what we're running currently with our NFTs.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, it's actually well thought. And of course, I mean, with the utility will come more in time. So yeah, I see the potential here for the long term. I don't think you guys actually, um if you were to say as a time frame for you to reach your peak, I don't even think you can define that right now. I'd like to ask this question, but typically I don't get a a definitive answer.
Yeah. So you're saying like what was it again? Do you see us not at our peak? My bad. I just didn't
No,
fully
well,
comprehend.
yeah, I wanted to kind of put you on the spot and state when would you say, what time frame would you say it would take for Croki to reach its peak? Although it's highly improbable for you to answer this, but still.
Like if I yeah, no, definitely I know what you mean. But like if I had to give my time frame, I'd say in a month to less than that because obviously we saw how fast the influx to the Crow chain like hype was. No one was using it, and then all of a sudden it's everybody is talking about it, which is when something like that happens, it has to cool down, sadly. Like we all know how nothing could go up forever, sadly. So when there's something like a new chain hype and everybody rushes to that, like we said, in that short amount of a day or week, and everyone's trying to bridge, and once it's finally all said and done and kind of that hype's gone, we know how crypto people are. They like just chasing hype. So once kind of that hype dies down, we level out, and then it kind of circles out the gamblers, the quick flippers, and it brings in rather the real investors, and then Crow and obviously MMF and for us expand and grow, and the whole ecosystem is pretty much just going to continue to grow as well.
Yeah, I think when it comes to yeah, you made an interesting statement there, and you are correct. People are how should I put this? Again, no offense, to anybody here, but
Oh yeah, definitely no offense, but
yeah, people are impatient.
yeah,
So back when I started, there would have been a logic. So or at least that's what I used to do. If I were in the pre-sale, I would know that for the next, let's say, 5 minutes from launch, it would still go up. People would buy, token would get sniped, so on and so forth. So nobody would sell, and then you would wait. You would time your exit point, or take out your initial, take out 50%, whatever. Then it drops down. You buy it again, and then you sell it at the top. That was a common sense logic. Maybe 1 year ago, something like that.
yeah,
But yeah, it unfortunately, and I'm surprised to see this. It's not the case anymore. You see the first or second candle green, you're done. 100% out. Bye. See ya. And
yep.
as it's super. You know what? I'm an investor, so I've never developed and probably will never develop a project. But it's hard. So, given the circumstances, what would you say was the key point for Croki? How did you overrun this scenario? Because I'm sure it kind of happened to you guys. Maybe not at the beginning, but how did you get back with the traction for the chart?
Like off the initial like kind of hype die down the first couple days, etc.
Yeah, let's call it correction because I think it's a healthy term.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I mean, obviously we pumped insanely the first. I think it was like 24 hours. We hit 1 million, and then corrected in the lower 100,000s for I'd say like 2 to 3 days, and like obviously it wasn't the best. People were never happy, but was there every day. I continued bringing things. I continued making announcements, making AMAs, scheduling AMAs, having tweets. We got staking live. We got MMF whitelisted. We got pretty much more uh, things to develop our what's the word? Our can't think of the word, but we got our logos on everything on Chronos scan. So we got pretty much listed on these sites and everything to where people could see our legitness rather than majority of tokens that are created. There's no logo when you try to swap. You have to add the contract manually. Or if you go to BSC scan or Crow scan, there's no logos, there's no socials. So we got all of that done, I'd say, in the first week or so. So pretty much whenever we consolidated, I was there daily, continued to work, and still to this day, obviously in this consolidation, me and Carrie and the team are still in the background working, just trying to develop for the long-term vision.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna stop.
Oh yeah,
You're
definitely not.
gonna, yeah, you kind of have to do this. Of course, you knew what you signed up for when once you started to develop a token, but being, and I think, yeah, this is what's gonna, I repeat myself, this is what's gonna leverage you guys up, let's say, to the moon, how we like to call it, is the fact that eventually you may cross chain towards BSC, either launch a token or, as you said, the utility of me bridging my tokens easily, even pools, of course, sustainable pools. That's definitely going to be a first on Chronos. But yeah, I think this is what's going to provide the future, because you guys chose a chain that's gonna, you guys are complementary. You develop, the chain develops, and so on and so forth. It brings you more opportunities, and then you bring your opportunity towards the market and meet the demand, and then the blockchain develops a bit more, and so on and so forth. So I think it's going to be a vicious circle for you guys, and that's what's going to keep the investors coming. Of course, we kind of need to, and that's what I recommend to everybody. We need to understand two things. Actually, one thing: you invest, but people these days are like, okay, so what makes this token unique? So why should I buy it? So what I like to kind of put it out there, I would definitely love your opinion on this one, Nick. Um, you invest in two things. You invest in the ideas and the concept brought forward, and then the second thing is the team itself. Nobody say, okay, there could be 10 tokens that are trying to do the same thing. I guarantee you that four of them will have a huge success. Most of the people here are wondering why. Simply because it's applying the same concept in different ways. That's what I kind of tell people. I mean, how do you feel about this? Am I right when saying that ideally, in the end, this is what you're investing in, and that the team and the way that they're putting things forward is what's going to make the project succeed, and not the uniqueness that we here at BSC in the end we're looking for. That ship has sailed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like that has passed too. And personally, the one thing that I feel like is uh, a plus for us is being on the new chain where it's not oversaturated like BSC, for example, where it's everyone's just chasing the new launch for the day and there's only that handful select of projects that kind of make it actually that long-term goal. So the one I feel like positive we have on this side is we've already established our name on the new Crow network. And I feel like as more of those larger projects come and are created and bring that hype back, because we saw how fast Croki, and some other projects brought hype into the Crow chain in a matter of just a couple days. So I'm fairly excited to obviously see what comes in the coming months on the Crow chain that kind of brings more retail money in pretty much people from other chains. Because, for example, the volume of Crow Network is still nowhere near the volume on BSC. So, like, that's still something that we have to keep in mind.
Yeah, but and again, the volume itself, I don't think it's. I mean, the reason why it's not there, I wouldn't say it's not there because of course the chain is fairly new, it's in development, so on and so forth. We all agree on that. But on the other hand, and as you said, Nick, on BSC, I I think we have at least 15 launches per day. Many of us maybe track them, or try to get into them, and so on and so forth. While on Chronos, you don't have that. I mean, of course, maybe you have 15 launches per day, but the trackable and the feasible ones, maybe one or two, which,
Yeah,
in my
definitely.
opinion, it's something good. So if I were to follow up with Crow on a daily basis, not that I don't, but still, um, I got two things to follow. Crow this and crow that, which, for me, it makes it easier to, to do my risk management, to divide my funds, to build my portfolio, and so on and so forth. While on BSC makes me wonder. So, okay, I got $500 and 15 projects. Which ones do I
Yeah,
invest in?
yeah. Which
Well,
one do you go for?
exactly.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, it comes with a job. Unfortunately, I'm a, let's say, a full-time researcher, or I used to be, at least, not so much these days. And yeah, there was a time where I really enjoyed doing it on BSC. Not that I don't right now, but I have the same questions because some people ask me, so okay, Alex, what do you say? What should I invest in? Yeah, beats me, man. I don't know. 15 launches, take your pick. It's up to you. Do the research, as I always say, do the research and pick, whatever. You like the name, pick the name. But on Chronos, it's not like that. Now again, I don't want to bore everybody because we need to get back to Croki, to the project itself. Now we kind of figured what you guys did so far, and it's quite impressive within the shortest time. What you guys are planning to do, we covered that in the roadmap discussion.
Yeah.
Um, what taxes do you guys have at the moment, and do you plan on having any well-known competition? Because this is probably what's a new feature on Chronos as well, the competition on buys.
Yeah, so pretty much I would say our only competition in bot like comparing taxes with ours to another tokens, pretty much is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so for example, we have a 8% tax both ways. I would say like the main meme coin on Crow has a I think it's 7% in and out tax. And then besides that, personally what I've seen is fairly high taxes because devs like to always throw that like 3% team tax, which is we all know nonsense. But for example, I think our tax is pretty good currently. So it's only 16% in and out. But for the long term, I do want to lower it. But it's just currently we do need development money. So I keep the marketing tax slightly higher. But I feel like in the long term goal, there should be no problem with lowering the taxes to maybe 5% in and out, I think.
Very interesting. Yeah, it remains to be seen. What I would like to ask you now, Nick, if this is okay with you, should we answer some of the community questions? Before we do that, do you think we we left out something of major importance? Let's say.
Let me think. We cover what's to come. I feel like we could answer questions, and then obviously, if anything comes up from those questions, or we could just recap back on it after the questions. But I don't mind answering questions for a bit because I'd say usually questions do cover some important thing that we missed and so on.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. So let's see. I'm gonna try and make it fair. I'm gonna ask some from the chat, and then I'm gonna unmute some people that want to ask on voice chat.
Yeah, I was
So
just say
let's
both.
see.
We could do both.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So okay. Oh, I'm gonna take the first one. The first one, Siarif wants to know what are the benefits of holding the token on long-term investment, and of course, the well-known question: can you tell us about the motivation and benefits for investors to keep the token in the long term?
Yeah, so our long term vision is we're gonna be pretty much building. Excuse me, I had a hiccup. We're gonna be building pretty much a ecosystem around Croki. So we're gonna have a launch pad and a swap where pretty much all those uh eco parts of the ecosystem are gonna benefit and generate money for obviously Croki token itself. For example, there will be certain things where if you want to access the launch pad, for example, you have to buy a certain amount of Croki and use that for a payment. And obviously, more things that we've yet to uh, fully close in on and choose. But pretty much for the long term goal, we want to build a fairly large ecosystem of a swap, a Croki pad, and etc., where obviously token holders are all rewarded rather than, for example, pink sale on BSC, we all know takes 1% of the tokens from the project, which we won't be taking any team tokens, obviously, and most likely we'll be doing, for example, on pink sale, you have to pay one BNB. We'll most likely be doing a payment where they have to just buy and pay through Croki. So obviously it benefits the chart, benefits obviously the holders, and we can most likely just throw that into a burn. So over time, as people use the pad, tokens get buyback and burnt. And then we could also set a percent aside to marketing, etc., whatever it may be.
Okay, I personally I think this answers the question. But in case not, Sharif, please you know tag me again with a different question or something if you want to add something to that one. Next one from Olu. Three questions. Okay, so um, one we kind of answered. What strategies does the team have in order to reach a non-crypto audience that are interested in the project? Interesting. I don't know if you want to add to this, Nick. Basically, if you're non-crypto, yeah, I'll let you.
Yeah,
I'll let you add.
I can answer that one fairly quickly. So one thing I kind of want to do is get, someone had mentioned it to me, I think it was yesterday, but making kind of stickers with our logo, our name, and then a QR code to our link tree, maybe. So pretty much you could stick those in public. You could stick those on anything you like. So obviously, whenever you go out in public, non-crypto or just normal crypto users who aren't on Telegram or Twitter tend to see it, maybe ask questions, etc. And then obviously we want to be doing merch. We've gotten articles on, I forgot the exact sites, but we have some news and business articles, and I think Yahoo and a few other larger ones. So if you type in Croki on Google, you'll find a decent amount of information. We want to get YouTube videos. So, for example, if people who are pretty new to crypto just type in Croki and they heard about us, they'll find a good amount of information on us. Because we all know how in the meme coin space, there's a plenty of meme coins. If you go on Google and you try to find information about it, there's pretty much nothing. So our goal is to kind of have our information out to the broader audience. If you just go on Google, maybe you're around in public and you see somebody wearing a Croki shirt, or you see a sticker placed somewhere, whatever it may be, a billboard, etc. We've had one billboard pretty early on launch, but that's something we want to get back going again once we kind of get our use cases working as well. So we have something to market that's fairly nice.
Yeah, I think your strategy makes sense. Basically, and I think I speak only for myself. I don't know the others. Think about how many games have you downloaded just because you saw an ad. So this is even though
Yeah,
you
so
were not
much.
actually interested. Yeah, I got dragged into the survivor style games just because I saw so many ads. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna download it so that you guys leave me alone. And I got sucked into it, and now I love them. Uh, it makes sense. That's the how I call it, the traditional marketing way. Um, okay, the next question that I saw, many blockchain projects are just on paper and have no real meaning. What practical product is your project using, and what plans do you have for a better product in the future? I think that the second one we kind of answered within the roadmap. So, what practical product is your project using? If you want to add more to that, Nick.
Yeah. So a practical product that we actually have is obviously a launch pad and having a cross chain swap, because in my two opinions, two fairly those are two things that a fairly large audience of crypto use daily, because we see how many projects are launched on pink sale on the daily basis. And we all know how pink sale, obviously, there's thousands of rug scams on it daily. Even when it says KYC and audit, they take a percent of the tokens from the supply and sell them. And obviously, they're making a BNB, obviously, in fees. So, kind of one thing we're going for is building an actual launch pad where the launchpad developers aren't the ones making all the money. It gives it a fair use for everybody involved. And obviously, we'll be requiring a KYC to even launch off our pad. So that's going to be one thing that will give a boost to obviously investors who are investing through our launch pad.
Interesting, interesting. Thanks a lot for that. For that, next kind of gives the whole perspective. Uh, helps us investors understand the full picture. Okay, let's actually give the opportunity to someone in the voice chat to talk. Jubenga, please, you are muted. Ask your question, and if you can make it only one, that would be awesome. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hi, brother. Thank you for the opportunity. Here to the chronic, to the Croki team. Thank you. I think that's a great presentation. I just have a little question. I would love to know the going through your roadmap. I see we can stake the token, then we can stake the NFT. Then, what
Correct.
are the advantage of if I have a token? What will be the advantage if I stake the token or if I stake the NFT? How will I be able to get the NFT? Is it through minting or we have to buy with the native token? What are the plans for that? And with respect to this Croki, I must be sincerely, I'm not that used to Crow. I'm used to be pancake swap on the trust wallet, stuff like that. What are the graphical advantage to stand out from other platform? So what will give you the competitive advantage over other platform with respect to this crew you're using in terms of the graphics and in terms of the text? I would love to know that. Thank you.
Yeah. So let me run down the first one. So the token staking, it benefits pretty much the holders by, I think it's about 150 to 200% rewards, like APY percent. So pretty much all stakers are pretty much getting pretty nice rewards over time. And then the NFTs you have to mint using Crow, but we do have 25% of that cost is sent back to all pre-existing minters. And then when we do launch the staking for the NFTs, those will be rewards in Croki. So you'll pretty much be able to stake the token for Crow, and then you stake the NFTs for Croki. And then as well on um, MMF Finance, we do have our own staking pool. If you stake MMF token, you earn Croki on that. So we do have pretty much two ways to earn Croki via staking currently. And then let me try to I'm trying to remember your last question about the visual stuff. So pretty much Crow is very similar to the Binance network, and the swap that we use looks just like PancakeSwap. So it's very pleasing to PancakeSwap users. Personally, I like it a lot. It's very easy to use. It's just like PancakeSwap. So pretty much once you bridge over, it's a very easy process to kind of get to using. It's the same button, same layout as PancakeSwap. So if you ever want to know how to bridge over, you could obviously just join our Telegram. We have little videos or someone else could help you out. If you ever want to actually get to bridging, it's a pretty easy process. There's some that only take a couple minutes to actually get done, which I kind of like.
Wow. Wow. I think this is awesome. This is amazing. Honestly speaking, I would love to know how to do that. Well, that means I can stake my NFT, I can stake my token simultaneously, and I will get the reward as appropriate, right?
Yeah, correct. So pretty
Wow.
much if you want to join and ask some questions, we could all help you out. But pretty much you could stake tokens two ways currently. And then obviously you could like check out the swap that Crow uses. It looks just like Pancake Swap. There's like no difference at all. It's just different logos and colors.
Wow. I think this is awesome. This is amazing.
And
Thank you. Thank you for
yeah,
that.
you're good. And the gas fees are fairly cheap on Crow too. It's still only
Wow.
about like 50 cents, I think.
Wow.
So it's a little bit more expensive than BNB, but it's not bad at all. It's nothing like Ethereum or any of those chains.
Okay, that means it's a little bit more expensive than that of Pancake Swap, for instance, right?
Uh, by like maybe a couple cents. Nothing too crazy though.
Okay, awesome. I think that is nice. With even with the video tutorial, that will give people like us more edge to grow and more understanding. I think this is a very great one. God bless you for the opportunity. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome. And yeah, so I could send Alex some videos and he could probably post them in chat how to bridge over.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Sorry, this NFT is the NFT available now, or when will it be available for people to mint and stake?
They're available now to mint, and then staking should
Wow.
be in about a week. I think the
Oh, okay.
minting started yesterday. I think it was.
Okay. Awesome. 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 Thank you. God bless you, brother. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Thanks as well. Thanks, Jabanga, for the questions, and of course, thank you, Nick, for the answers. Let's see. Um, I saw another one in the chat, and I think this will be our last one before we make our ending statements. Um, there you go. Yeah. This is actually an interesting one from Francis, and he wants to know: is there any token burn to make the project more profitable for investors? There isn't any burn percentage in the tokenomics, and another one is if eventually the NFTs can be rented by people, and what's the NFT supply?
Yeah. So the first part is there a burn? So we did burn half a max wallet today, and I did buybacks. So we do. So like it's not stated in the tokenomics, but we do use a certain select of NFT funds and certain tax from the marketing to do buybacks and burns. So if you do check, I'll grab the wallet and I can make a pin in our announcement. But if you do look at, there's a burn wallet that is everybody uses for burns. We do have, I think, 0.52% in there currently. And then the goal is every couple days, I'll do buybacks and burns. I'll post the transaction so it's open for everyone to see. So slowly over time, that 0.5% we have right now will be a lot more than that. So over time, we will be buyback and burning supply. It's just not stated in the tokenomics. It's just going to be used manually. So that's a fairly good thing. But, and then the other question was, what was it again? It was something with the NFTs, right?
Yep. If two things with the NFTs, if people can rent the NFTs, and then what was the total supply for the NFTs?
Yeah, so you can't rent them currently, but that's something definitely to look into. And then the current supply is only 1,000. So, and I think there's about 370 minted right now, around there. So we're almost halfway to the supply being gone in I think 1 to 2 days. So we're on track to being out fairly soon, as long as everything keeps up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I keep saying this to pretty much every single AMN, every single project, and I keep repeating it to myself as well. Um, if the market conditions aren't ideal, I'm not gonna say the best. We're kind of far from the best.
Oh
Then
yeah,
yeah, we
for sure.
Unfortunately, and I mean not as unfortunate as myself, because as I've said, I'm just an investor, but unfortunately for people like you, Nick, who are developing and bringing concepts from theory to to practical ideas, to practical applications that we can use. Yeah, I don't know if I were able, if I would be able to make it. The frustration would probably eat me alive. Just
Yeah.
I don't know how you deal with it, my man.
It's definitely not an easy task, but obviously it's something that is kind of the goal is to be different than obviously every other majority of devs in this space. Like, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of great devs, but like we all, I imagine everybody in this voice chat has had their fair shares of garbage devs who we all know, greedy, etc. So like, yeah, it gets frustrating sometimes, but obviously I do love it at the same time. So
Makes sense. Passion is probably what lifts your spirit every day. I mean that's what works for me. But and again, I'm just investing in projects to to build one from from scratch. I don't know. Before we wrap it up, I'm just gonna. I mean, this is the way that I do it, Nick. Let me know if this is okay with you. I'm gonna make an ending statement, and then you can. I'm gonna give the floor, and you're gonna make your ending statement. Is that okay?
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, before I go ahead and say that, I would advise everybody, and I know there were super many questions in the chat. To some of them, if you guys actually, the recording will be made public. If you guys listen to the recording, they're gonna be available. But if by any chance we missed it, the socials for the Croki projects are actually listed. So I'm sure that their mods will be more than happy to answer them. Um, in my perspective, and I'll say this again to everybody, this is a long-term project. First of all, the idea, the concept is well thought. The team is constantly working, and again, put in perspective what they did and how much did it take them. That's what kind of should give a fairly reasonable idea of what was accomplished. I've been following projects on BSC for more than 6 months, and they haven't done half. So yeah, as a comparison, the blockchain itself is constantly developing. Surely, right now may be frustrating to bridge funds and so on and so forth. What I would advise everybody, just do it in the morning, and keep them there. There will be super many projects to invest in, um, on Chronos, if that's what's keeping you from going over there. Coming back to Croki, I congratulate Nick and the team. You can pass these details from me towards the team, Nick. Um, I think you guys have what it takes to be in the long term. Not to mention the huge partnership with the with BlueFi. That's just yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna
it's gonna
skyrocket
be
for
nice.
sure. Yeah. So yeah, this is my 2 cents about the project. Thanks for your time, Nick. It was great hosting you guys and learning about Croki and what was done and what's about to be done. The floor is yours. Give us your ending statement.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me, and obviously for anyone who isn't in our TG already, if you haven't obviously checked out the Crow Network, you could obviously join. Well, obviously there will be people there answering questions. We could send you some YouTube videos how to get bridged over. It's a fairly easy process, and you could kind of check around how the Crow Network is. Though obviously the swap, personally to me, I honestly almost like it more than Pancake Swap. They even have their own games like coin toss. If you feel a little gambly and you want to feel lucky, they got coin tosses. They have roulette. There's obviously, personally, I think they have a little bit more going already than Pancake Swap. So personally, I think it's a very just cool swap to use. And on that swap, you could already stake to earn Croki token, which is very cool in my opinion. So you could already start earning free Croki using the swap of the Chronos network. But like I said again, if you haven't already joined us, might as well join us. Check out the Crow Network. It's obviously fairly cool, very new. So I think there's a ton of high hopes for the future.
Amen to that. Yeah, I think you guys are still in at an incipient stage. That's for sure. So yeah, do your research. Thanks to everybody who actually joined us. Thanks Nick. Thanks to the team from Croki. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Personally, I have. I knew about the project, so yeah.
And
Not a
then
lot of it new to me. Yeah, go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
I was gonna ask you real quick for the giveaway winner. How do you pick one? You're just doing it based on question or just random?
I was planning on doing it based on the questions, unless you have other ideas or you wanna pick.
Here, you could pick yours, and then I'll just DM you what I was thinking. It's nothing crazy. It's just for one person. I'm gonna try to get something set up. So you could pick
Sure.
your winner, like based on whatever you do, and then I'll DM you about what I was thinking. It just makes it easier on that end.
Perfect. Okay, everybody, there you go. So we'll announce it shortly for sure after the AMA. I'll look forward to your DM with the idea, Nick, for sure.
All right, perfect.
Awesome. Thanks again. Best of luck to you, to the project, and to the team. It was a pleasure hosting you here at Phoenix, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you for hosting me as well. Hope everyone has a good Easter.
Sure. Happy Easter, everybody. Thanks. Bye for now.
Bye.